Okay, getting creative shots, it doesn't need to cost a fortune. You don't need a giant team of people, and it doesn't matter if you're just filming on your iPhone and a GoPro or a larger camera like this one, you just want to be able to achieve it easily. So here are some of my favorite budget-friendly, under $100 essentials for getting those creative shots. And I'm using 2 of them right now. Now, a lot of people assume that these suction cups are strictly for the car industry, like how I'm using it right now. But I find myself using them all the time outside of the car industry, and you'll see those shots in a little bit. So the setup is super easy. Just slap it on there, turn the notches to get the suction cups engaged, and the suction is very strong. And while they claim it's only for action cameras, it will hold up my A7S III. But you are gonna wanna use the other suction cups with the stabilizer arm in order to stop it from dipping like this. Or better yet, use the next item on this list to make it so much easier than that arm that it comes with. And you only need to do that when you're using a heavy camera like this one. This thing really shines when you're using action cameras. With the action cam, you can easily set it up outside of the vehicle, which makes it a lot easier to get rolling shots than doing this. This was a really stupid idea, and I've since bought a harness, so do not attempt this. But you are gonna deal with a bunch of micro jitters. Even with the Osmo Pocket 3, it's gonna be bouncing up and down a little bit. But I do have a new suction cup that I will be testing out soon, so stay tuned for that video. Now, suction cups aren't only meant for cars, even though that's where we mostly see them being used. If you want a cool, unique angle, maybe it's somewhere you can't get a tripod or a C-stand, or it would just be too heavy or cumbersome, well, wherever you have glass or smooth surface, you got a mount. Now this comes with multiple different suction cups, but if you really want it to be safe and stable, I usually pair it up with. Now, I don't know how I ever lived without these, because not only do I use it as a stabilizer or a safety backup for the suction cups, but I also use them for literally everything. And being able to set up your camera to just about anything makes getting unique perspectives super easy, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time or money. And sometimes I won't even bring a tripod with me because it's heavy and cumbersome, and using a magic arm, you can just clamp to anything. And this is the stabilizer I use for the suction cups. It's just much easier, much safer, and it really holds everything in a position with that camera to stop it from dipping down. And not only are these really cool for mounting your camera to cool objects, whether it's skateboard, bike, a pole, a bar, a tree, whatever, but I also use it to hold props on my product shoots or to hold products right in front of the lens for like this cool POV type shot like these, or for hanging up a light in the perfect position, which brings me to our next item. The next item is this ambit full light bar, and this small yet powerful light fits easily in your camera bag, has a very respectable battery life. It has a cool of built-in fun effects like the one you just saw. And when you pair this light with the magic arms, you can easily attach it to your camera if you want to be doing some run and gun work in low light scenarios, or to create a nice background light using its full RGB scale. Also, super easy to use with your phone. You can access all the features of the light, and if you have multiple lights, you can even control each one independently, but there's also controls on the back of the light itself, so you don't have to be hooked up to your phone to use it. Another cool thing about this light bar is that it's magnetic, so you can easily mount it just like that. And if you have metal studs on your wall, which I just learned today, you could even do that. But this won't really stand on its own. I mean, it can try to, but I wouldn't trust that. So typically I like to add it. Now, when people hear tripod, they usually think that's specifically for a camera. And while it is great for that, it can be used for so much more. Whether it's putting lights on it or products, props. It's just a great lightweight piece of gear that should always be in your bag. Now there's tons of alternatives out there, cheaper alternatives, but this one's great because of its locking ball head. It's got a pretty solid weight limit, and since you can move things around, you can turn this into a pretty sweet selfie handle. But I will say, I'm at just about the limit of weight. I mean, this is a full rig. The fact that it's fitting this whole thing on this little tripod, pretty awesome. Now keep in mind, this thing's about 6 inches tall, and it's great for tabletop, low to the ground shots if you have something to put it on. But if you need something that can take a light or a product or maybe even a small camera higher up, you're probably gonna wanna get this light stand, because light stands suck. Either it's a C stand, and if you didn't know, this is a C stand, which they're great. It just takes a good bit of setup, and you're not really gonna be carrying this around in your backpack. And then you've got your standard light stand. Definitely more lightweight than the C stand, but it still takes some time to set up. They like to get caught up. Gotta twist that, get the legs extended, twist that back up, untwist this, extend that to where you want it, untwist again, get that to where you want it. And it's still not quite compact enough to fit in your backpack. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be that comfortable. Now this light stand is easy. It's only got one little thing to unlock the legs, screw that down to tighten it up, and setting the height on it is just as easy as you just pull on it. So when you need to get a light or a camera really up high, nail the shot and break it down real quick, this thing is a game changer. But keep in mind, this is meant for light items. I wouldn't suggest putting your whole camera rig up here or a big giant mega light. But for small action cams and small lights like the Ambit Full, this thing is awesome. And I literally just thought of this, but this could be a pretty cool selfie pole too. So if you're gonna set this up high, make sure to do it indoors and that it's locked and stable and not moving at all. Because if you want moving shots, you should probably get. When you're a one-man crew like I am, you're forced to do a lot of static shots. And if you want some movement, you might be thinking of using a slider, which is a giant case, a lot of time to set up. So you gotta make sure it's charged. Or maybe you'll use your gimbal. Same thing, big case, gotta be charged, balancing the camera on the gimbal, and you just wanna get a quick, easy, rolling front to back, left to right shot. And not to mention that both those options are expensive as fuck. This budget option can easily add motion to your videos. Just attach any ball head or mount if you're using maybe an action camera and roll it in the direction you want. And it won't only go forward and back, left to right, but with its screws underneath, you can actually change the angle of the wheels so you can get some pretty cool orbit shots like this one. And that's something that those expensive sliders can't really do. Now, you really need a smooth surface for this to work well, and even this basketball court isn't smooth enough. So I usually use this in the studio. And also, you don't want things hanging off your camera like a camera strap that can lock up the wheels, which is why my next item is. So this is the king of camera straps. Regular camera straps do not come on and off easily, and when you're trying to rig up your camera to magic arms, tripods, you have to twist it a bunch. They really get in the way. Not this one. What makes the Peak Design system stand out is its quick release system. And I know, at first I thought that's kind of gimmicky and why would I spend that much extra money for a quick release system? Well, it's an incredible feature, especially if you're rigging your camera up. It's so useful, and I have the two neck straps, but Peak Designs also comes with wrist straps if that's more your thing. And this camera strap system is so strong, I'll actually use it as my safety line, like I mentioned earlier, when I'm doing these pretty sketchy outside shots. And also keep in mind, anything I'm doing here, any outdoor rigging that you do with your system, always have a safety line and do it at your own risk. Now luckily the suction cups have never failed me, but I know if they do, that strap is gonna hold tight, and that way it's not falling on the ground and hitting another car, injuring someone, and completely destroying your camera. But it might mess your car up a little bit. But that's not the only hack I use this for. So the other hack that I use this Peak Design system for is with my gimbal. Now, if you've used a gimbal before, you know that your arms can get very tired. It gets very heavy. You don't always have a safe place to set it down on this tripod. So I use the 2 extra pucks provided with the strap, and I just strap it to the gimbal and to itself. And with that little bit of extra pressure relieves the arms quite a good bit. But if you want to take a full break, you can just let it sit right there, shake your arms out, and if you wanted to, you could even just film like this, I guess. All right, this might be the cheapest item on the list, but I honestly think I use it the most. When you're doing these creative shots and rigging up camera gear and everything, you need it to be easy to assemble, easy to take down. You don't want things getting stuck. So that's why I have the Small Rig multi-tool. It's got all the standard tools that you're gonna need to be rigging up creative shots. And it also comes with this small little carrying case, so it's easy to keep one in my camera bag, and I also keep one in my studio, which is also my attic, which is also one of the next videos, how I converted this into a studio and all the hacks that I have to make shooting easier. So until then, toodles. Come on. That'll do. Why was I still recording that?